Sports Zone NFL Draft Special, guys. I'm your host, Steven Lucero, joined by Isaiah Ortiz and Sean Hunley. Guys, this is the best night of the year, right? We finally made it. It is draft day. I'm so excited to talk about it. We're going to get started with our mock drafts, breaking down the entire first round, seeing how we think guys are going to go. It's going to be an interesting one. Isaiah, I'm going to let you start us off with the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. The Tennessee Titans select?
Shador? No, I'm just kidding. It's gonna be Cam Ward. This is really a no-brainer pick for me with Cam Ward. It's been that way for about a month now. The best quarterback in this draft, the most upside when you talk about quarterbacks with arm talent, with accuracy. He can move the pocket even if it's nonchalant. It's a great way to play, I think. Very calm, very steady as compared to these other quarterbacks. And then rounding out the top five, Travis Hunter, Abdul
Second and 7.
Really the same top four we've seen for a couple of months now. But at number 5, I wanted to get into it real quick. Ashton Jeanty to the Chicago Bears. This is my hot take of the draft. I think the Bears are looking to bolster their offense, get back in the Super Bowl contention. I think they trade up for Ashton Jeanty. They have an extra pick with the Carolina Panthers from that Bryce Young trade. So I think they make that move in that NFC North with a lot of offensive talent. We've seen Ben Johnson do this in the past with DeAndre Swift with the Detroit Lions. Don't be surprised if he does the same thing, trade up for Ashton Jeanty like he did with Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. I mean, this is something that I'll say the draft starts at the number 5 pick, in my opinion. I think these 4 are pretty set in stone, barring something crazy happening. But right here, Jacksonville, I think will shape the rest of the draft. This is such an interesting pick because all the odds have shaped everywhere. I mean, at first it was like Mason Graham's the pick, right? And then it's kind of shifted to Ashton Jeanty. But I'm with you, Isaiah. You'll see on mine a little later. I think that either, Ashton Jeanty, maybe he's the pick, but I think they find a way to get out of this and make something crazy like this happen. Keep us going.
Yeah, you see the odd shift with Ashton Jeanty. We all thought he would be a Raider, but I think they go with Armand Menbu, the versatile tackle/guard out of Missouri. I'm going to go with Tyler Warren to the New York Jets here. They need some more offensive talent. Get you a George Kittle-like tight end for Justin Fields, really to work with him in that Detroit Lions kind of offensive system, like we saw with Sam Laporta. And then I have Ted McMillan here. People have been mocking Michael Williams and Jalen Walker for the Carolina Panthers here, but I think they really need to get Bryce Young a weapon. He really hasn't had that surefire, trustworthy weapon throughout his entire 2 years in Carolina, and he looked good throughout the last stretch of last year. So I think Ted McMillan, I don't buy any of the hype of him falling in this draft. I think 8 is a great spot for him. And then number 9 here, you may be looking at it and you're like, what is he thinking? Jackson Dart at number 9.
Jackson Dart at 9.
Go back to being a host, Isaiah, but no. Jackson Dart for me at 9. I'm not saying he's going to be the 10th best player in this draft. I'm saying I think the Saints see competition here. I think they see the Giants potentially trading back up into this latter half of this draft. And I think they say, you know what, let's just solidify our quarterback room. Let's get Jackson Dart. We like him. Kellen Moore likes quarterbacks who takes chances. My comparison for Jackson Dart and Shador Sanders doesn't take enough risk. And Kellen Moore wants to push the ball down the field. So you get Jackson Dart, a guy who's been doing that throughout his entire time at Ole Miss. He has been that quarterback. He likes to take chances. Doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, but when he does, the throws you're like, okay, at least he has confidence in himself. So I think Kellen Moore likes a quarterback who likes to push the ball down the field, who likes to take risk, especially with those middle of the throw opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. This Jeanty at 5 would be pretty crazy. That would be the shock of this draft. I mean, absolutely insane.
I would probably shake your hand if you got that right. But I don't know, man. That's tough.
Yeah, so obviously Shador has been kind of maybe he's the number 2, but Jackson Dart right here. Sean, what do you think about that pick at 9?
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. Obviously, I'm going to say if there was a quarterback to go with that spot, it's probably going to be Shador. However, I don't think the Saints are going to go with Shador just because there's so many things they could go with at that spot. And so personally, if you ask me, I think the Saints are going to actually wait, and they're going to trade up with Washington, and they're going to take Jackson Dart at Washington's pick.
See, like I mentioned,
down there by the 27, 28 spot, I believe.
I think that's a good spot potentially, but I do think, again, there's just a lot of competition coming up. The Giants are really trying to be aggressive to get back in this first round. I don't think 27 is going to be the range for Jackson Dart if there's a trade-up. I'm looking at Seattle, Tampa Bay, Denver potentially. Those are the spots I'm looking for if I'm the Giants to trade back up for Jackson Dart. So if I'm the Saints who are also looking back to trade in order to get Jackson Dart, I'm saying we have to stay here. We have to get our guy.
All right, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. So I guess no Shadorlands for you guys right now. Yeah, I don't see it. I think that there's a real chance that both of these quarterbacks can fall in this class. I don't know. Jackson Dart's going to be an interesting one. But Isaiah, keep us going. You got number 12, Matthew Golden for the Cowboys.
Yeah, Matthew Golden, everyone's been mocking a wide receiver, and for the longest time we thought it was Ted McMillan, but I think it's going to end up being Matthew Golden. He was a top 30 visit for the Dallas Cowboys over the offseason. The Dallas Cowboys, they need some speed. It's been missing, I think, for the entire Dak Prescott era. They have not had that speedy receiver. And when you think about Brian Schottenheimer, what he had once in Seattle with Tyler Lockett as that speed receiver, as that number 2 guy, that's my personal comparison for Matthew Golden. You need a wide receiver like that, a guy who can actually stretch the field, a guy who can work opposite of CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb likes to do the dirty work underneath in that slot position. Why not get you a great wide receiver who is a real vertical deep threat?
Yeah, I think that's really going to be a big question. Whether it's Ted or Matthew Golden, I think the Cowboys finally go receiver here, or maybe they'll just draft an offensive lineman again and just drive us crazy. We'll have to see. But going down the latter half of this, Isaiah, what are you looking at for some of your hot and cold picks?
Yeah, I'm really looking at this Shamar Stewart pick. I have 19 to Tampa Bay as of right now, but I think that could change. I think he can go anywhere from the top 10 to all the way in the 20s.
Yep.
He's just such... He's such an interesting prospect. I compare him more to like a Randy Gregory.
Okay.
A little hot and cold when it comes to pass rushing, but I think he has all the abilities of being a really effective pass rusher. And Tampa Bay needs more pass rushers as of right now. They were not very good the latter half of the year when it comes to their edge rushers. I also think they would need a linebacker, so watch out potentially for Tampa Bay to select maybe Jahad Campbell if he falls, but right now Shamar Stewart would be my pick. And then I also want to focus on Omarion Hampton right here. The Broncos, they've been looking for what Sean Payton likes to call a joker player, someone who can do everything. And Omarion Hampton is that type of running back. He's not special with one thing, but he's great at a lot of things. When it comes to running the ball, catching the ball, pass blocking, that's a Sean Payton type of player for me.
All right, to wrap this up real quick, Shedeur Sanders being drafted there at 26. The Browns trading back in, your second big trade of this draft. Explain that one for us, Isaiah.
Yeah, I'd say this has like a 2% chance of happening, but I think to shake things up, I like the Browns trading back up for Shedeur Sanders because if you look at who I have at number 2, it's Travis Hunter, his former teammate. And we've seen rumors that the Giants might try to pull this off. Doubt it because I don't think they're getting Travis Hunter. But you think about the Browns, they've just been it's a mess, especially in that quarterback room with Deshaun Watson. They really need something to really jolt the fan base, to get them excited again. And I think Shedeur Sanders would be that type of quarterback. That irrational confidence he has in himself, I think that matches perfectly with their fan base because they trust the Browns every year. Why not get you a quarterback who trusted himself no matter the play? And I do think that with Shedeur Sanders, he's a perfect fit for that Kevin O'Connell offense. He's a distributor of the football. Even when he doesn't want to take a lot of chances, he's still pretty good at getting his guys the ball.
All right, the quarterbacks, it's going to be interesting. But, Sean, I want you to take us into your mock draft.
Absolutely.
Got it right here. So walk us through it.
You know, one thing, I'm very much I think this is going to be a chalky draft. I think there's going to be that top 5. I think that's going to be pretty much set. A lot of people speculate that, Mason Graham's going to fall down a couple of picks. I don't think so.
Really?
There's speculation that Ashton Genty is going to go to the Jaguars just because that new GM, he wants to make a huge splash. But personally, I think they're going to rock with Travis Etienne. I think they need some help kind of to help protect Trevor Lawrence or even just on that defensive side. I think Mason Graham kind of just gives Jacksonville that little bit of a boost that they need. And personally, I think it would best suit the Raiders to take Ashton Genty because who do they have besides
Raheem Mostert.
Raheem Mostert and company.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know it was Raheem Mostert until we had our show a few days ago, Steven. But, I mean, personally, I think that's the best spot for Ashton Genty. But, of course, this draft is so volatile once you get past the top 4 picks. I mean, I think Travis Hunter is right there in that spot for the Browns. He can play both ways. He's going to go in as a corner, but also there's been a lot of talks that he's probably going to play on both sides of the ball. The question is how much is he going to play receiver versus his natural defensive position?
Yeah.
But I think those 3 positions are going to be a lock. Of course, Abdul Carter, he is the Cowboy. I mean, he's another version of Micah Parsons, just for the Giants now.
I wish he could be a Cowboy, man.
Shoot. I mean, the Cowboys already have their own in Micah Parsons, but that is pretty much Micah Parsons 2.0. I mean, literally the same number, the same college. I believe he led the FBS in sacks, or I think he was second. I'm not sure.
He wasn't quite first. But yeah, he had an incredible season.
He was up there in team pressures as well. I mean, he's just the all-inclusive package that you're going to want on the edge. And so I think those 3 are a lock. Will Campbell, you got to have somebody there to protect Drake May, and I think Will Campbell is the guy for that. There's been a lot of talk how Will Campbell has short arms. Well, he has put up insane numbers for LSU, so I don't think you can really make that argument. I think having, half-inch shorter arms, I don't think that's going to make that big of a difference.
And even if he doesn't play tackle, he will be an all-pro level guard in the NFL. I think that pick is worth it regardless.
100%. You know, the Jets, there's been speculation that they might draft a tight end. I don't think so. I think they're going to rock with Armand Membu. They've already got Quentin Williams, so that's a good teammate right there. Plus, it just provides that quarterback with a little bit of extra help. We saw what happened to Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. I think they're going to want some more lineman help. With the Panthers, I'm going to say Jalen Walker. You know, there's speculation that Will Johnson might be there, you know, probably one of the best corners in the game. But I'm going to stick with Jalen Walker at that spot. He's one of the best edges in the draft, and so that's it. That's all I can say about that. He's the best edge. I think he fits in Carolina's roster.
Yep, solid top 8 for sure. Sean, real quick, tell me some of your hot and cold players of this draft.
Yeah, absolutely. My hot pick is going to be Will Johnson. I think he could go higher than San Francisco, but I think he fits in great with San Francisco. I don't think he can fall much further than probably 13. I think that's the lowest Will Johnson will fall. His draft stock has kind of dropped a little bit in the past 2 weeks, but you're going to get a top 10 player no matter where you draft him. So,
Sean, I got a question for you about that. I had him at 23 in my mock draft because injuries and the fact that he didn't run a 40.
You're right, he was out
in
6
his
games.
combine
Or
his pro day. He didn't run that 40, and I think that scouts are really looking at that. Is that not a concern for you with him going to the Niners?
I mean, I think personally he's guarded some of the best players in college football. I think you can put him in at the cornerback position, and he'll end up being another Sauce Gardner.
Okay.
I think he could be another Sauce Gardner just with how good he is. I mean, and plus with the players he's guarded, Marvin Harrison, Romo Dunze. Marvin Harrison's already in the league. I mean, look, he was the fourth overall pick in last year's draft, so I think he's going to be fine. A cold pick, Shedeur Sanders. I had him going to the Steelers or maybe even the Saints, but I think he drops out. I think he drops out of the first round. I just think there's been a lot of speculation among interviews with coaches, and they're just saying that he's cocky, he's a little arrogant, and he just doesn't seem that good. Now, however, he does have a lot of really good stats that kind of back up his play, but I just don't know. I don't see him as high as other people do in the draft. And then another one, this guy right here, Kenneth Grant. I think he's going to fall right into the Chiefs spot just because of how lucky the Chiefs get. They need help on the line, and I think if Kenneth Grant falls to them, that would be a godsend and a blessing because the Chiefs just love to get lucky, and I think they will again with Kenneth Grant.
Yep, once again, a lot of great picks here. I want to get into my mock draft real quick. It's going to be exciting. I think I kind of have a little bit of a mix between both of you guys. For me, I think the top 4 is set. We talked about it earlier. I really think that Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and Will Campbell are set here. I got to agree with you, though, Isaiah. I think the Bears trade up and make that move for Ashton Jeanty. The Bears, they feel that they are building something with Ben Johnson, and they want to go make that kind of splash. They can't quite make that at 10. I think they're going to go up, make it at 5. Kelvin Banks here. I think Warren is a huge pick right here for the Jets. Tyler Warren. I had them taking Brock Bowers last year. It didn't happen. I really think that they learn from their mistake and take the elite tight end. The Jaguars, I have them taking Ted McMillan. There's been rumors about them taking him at 5. I think they trade down, kind of get some better value there at 10. Because of that, I think the Cowboys are going to go Matthew Golden, and then right above that, Mason Graham falls to the 49ers. Mason Graham, guy I'm not quite as high on as some others, only averaged 3 sacks a season over his 3 years at Michigan. Great run stopper. A little bit concerned about the pass rush ability. However, 49ers are thrilled to get him right there. Colston Loveland, I think, is an elite tight end / wide receiver in a way. I mean, this is a guy that can run routes. He's built just completely different. He's not your typical tight end. I think the Colts get a steal there, just sort of working the way through it. Omarion Hampton at 20 to the Broncos. This is a pick I really like. Watching his tape, everyone's going to talk about Ashton Jeanty for a good reason. He's incredible. But Omarion Hampton, watching him, man, I got some Ezekiel Elliott flashbacks. I got to say it.
That's exactly who the Broncos want. They're going to get the second best running back in this draft class.
Yep, I was a big fan of him. And then got to talk about Shedeur Sanders. I have him falling all the way down here to the Steelers. Honestly, guys, I think I could see him falling even farther than that. I could see a situation like yours, Isaiah, where someone trades up, maybe drafts him there. This is a guy that the character, the just inconsistency, teams just don't know, and we just don't know. So here, I don't think he falls out of the first round, but man, it's possible. It's possible, but I have him right there with the Steelers. It's going to be exciting, and man, we'll see how it all works out. We'll only know at 7 o'clock, but thank you guys here, and we're going to move on and talk some film breakdown, first with the offensive players.
Are you looking for a fun club with travel opportunities? Dive into the UNT Swim Club. Practicing Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Pole Recreation Center. We accept members at any skill level. For more information, reach out to us at unt.swimclub on Instagram.
Looking to open a free checking or savings account but don't know where to start? Check out DebtQ Credit Union right here on campus. Get your Mean Green debit card instantly or apply for a DebtQ Visa credit card today. Your school, your card. Plus, make deposits at their 24/7 ATM, checks or cash whenever you need it. Make sure to sign up for DebtQ's online banking platform and mobile app for easy access anytime, anywhere. Visit them at www.datq.org to learn more. DatQ, the official financial institution of UNT Athletics.
I wonder what's on the radio today. I don't know about this. This is not it.
Everything alternative, commercial free. 88.1 Indie.
Here at KNTU, we have two traditional stations, 88.1 Indie and KNTU Jazz. We've also recently launched an internet radio station called Mean Green Hits. If you want to hear more, you can check us out at medianorthtexas.com.
That was pretty good.
Craving something fresh, flavorful, and made just for you? Look no further than Avesta, your go-to destination for a delicious, full-service dining experience. Dive into our customizable omelets, expertly crafted by our talented cook Jonathan, who guarantees every bite is perfection. All our dishes are handmade, prepared with only the freshest ingredients. Explore our assembly line where you can choose from any of our globally inspired dishes, or customize your plate. It's that easy. And let's not forget dessert. Indulge your sweet tooth with treats from Clark Bakery. With convenient payment methods including card or flex, it's the perfect dining spot for any occasion. Quench your thirst with our wide selection of drinks. Just hand your drinking card to our friendly waiter, and they'll bring your beverage of choice right to your table. When you're done savoring every last bite, our attentive staff will whisk away your tray. Enjoy the peaceful ambiance as you dine in, or use our takeout option for a meal on the go. Avesta.
Welcome back to the Sports Zone Draft Special. I am joined by London Stewart and Rohan Srinivasan, and we have something special planned. Breakdown going on in here, guys. Hey. We're going to start off with the offense, and guys, we've both put together 3 prospects, some of your favorites of this draft. So, London, I'm going to let you start us off with Tet McMillan.
Yes, sir. I have Tetairoa McMillan. He was the number 4 receiver in the 22 class of 22 class. You see right here, 6'5" receiver. He's a guy who's going to go up and grab the ball every single time. Physical receiver as well. You're going to have to double cover him. My pick, I have the Cowboys picking him at the 12th pick. You know, they've struggled in the red zone right here. You see right here, go down. One guy can't guard him. He reminds me of a prime A.J. Green from the Cincinnati Bengals. You see also right here, people may question his speed. Good breakaway speed right here. He ran a 4.48 in a private workout, though. But you see, strong hands. A lot of guys, you know, at the college level is going to let the ball dangle up. But already at the college level, he's a guy that's going to go down. And you see that right here and go up and grab the ball out of the air. Not one guy can just guard him on this play. On this next play right here, you see he was playing on a struggling Arizona team that he had 1,300 yards, though, right here. Goes up, grab the ball. 3 people are guarding him. 3 people on this play right here. You know, he's in the red zone. Cowboys struggling right here. One guy can't guard him. One hand catch. Tough physical receiver as well. Steve Smith Sr. had a lot of things to say about him, but I like this guy right here. Goes down, high points the ball at the highest point. At that 6'5" frame, can't nobody really guard him. You see right here, a game versus TCU. 2 guys on him. Strong. We're gonna run that back a little bit. Let's have a replay right here. Let's check that out right there. Strong guy. Plays through the hands. Catches the ball with his hands. He's a physical receiver. That separates a good receiver from an average receiver. Who's gonna catch the ball with their hands and not their body? Yes. Right here, down here on this play, New Mexico State. Man had 4 touchdowns. People may question his speed. A 6'5" dude. As soon as he get out, that's a cornerback right there. Can't nobody catch up with him. Hey, let's draft him. I like this guy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tet McMillan. He's going to be one of these guys, along with someone we're going to talk about in just a minute, on the radar for the Cowboys. I'm a big fan of his game. Incredible in the red zone. I mean, his 6'4" frame going up there on contested catches. I mean, I see some Des Bryant in him in the red zone. It's incredible. But the other receiver, sort of the speed side of things, start us off with Matthew Golden.
All right, well, you were talking about him, bro. Do you know who's projected to go for Dallas?
Let me see who you
It's
got.
Matthew
Who
Golden,
you
guys.
got?
Let's analyze this play right here. Underthrown ball into double coverage. He's able to make the grab. Why is he so good? His 40-yard dash, the best among his positions, second best overall. Let's see him right here. He's not outside. He's in the slot, and he's going to go left, actually. So now he's got to go left, right? And look at this touchdown play right here. This one-handed catch by London. Look at that.
Ooh,
Look at that.
I like that.
You only need 1 foot in college. I know that, but this guy can adapt to the NFL. Let's take a look at that one-handed catch again. Like I said, fastest 40-yard dash time in his position, second fastest overall.
Look at that to the post.
Exactly.
hand.
Want a
Oh,
Tyreek
man.
Hill 2.0
That's
in terms of speed? Get Matthew Golden. That's what I like. And I don't blame them if Dallas picks him because I don't mind it at all. So look at this last play right here. He's on the outside. You think a normal slant route would work? Yes. A slant route to the left, and he's gone for 55 yards. That's what I like about him. In that case, though, I would have liked to stop and go route whenever he saw the play coming in, but Matthew is so good that he can adjust on the fly to any situation, and a simple slant route to the left gets him going for 50 yards.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. These are two incredible wide receivers who I believe one of them will be the pick for the Cowboys at 12. It remains to be seen which one, but truly, it's hard to be mad about either one after watching that tape. So I want to keep us going. Move over to the running back position. London, you have more of a second-round prospect, another guy the Cowboys might have to look out for at pick 44.
Yes, sir. I have Travion Henderson, the #1 running back coming out of the state of Virginia. You see right here on this play, he did not stop his feet. Tennessee, this is a play Ohio State ran all year, inside zone. They did a great job at blitzing the A, B, and C gap. You see right here, once he gets to that second level, he's gone. This guy really showed up in the playoffs. He's a 1,000-yard rusher, especially with another guy on that Ohio State team that had 1,000 yards as well. He's a good guy as well, high character guy as well. Right here, against by far the fastest team in the country, #1 Oregon. This team right here was undefeated. They previously beat Ohio State. Out to the races right there. Ran a 4.43 at the NFL Draft Combine. You see right here, he has a linebacker on him. Let's do that double move. Go up. Let me go get the ball. He reminds me of a Christian McCaffrey as well. Let's run that back a little bit. Let's run that back a little bit. You see, double move. Boom. That's a running back, not a receiver. That's a running back, running a double move. You see right here on this play, breakaway speed. He's a guy, second level, yet again. Breaking some tackles. People talk about Ashton Jeanty. What about Travion Henderson? Let's look at that play. Let's look at this next play as well. This guy really showed up in the college football playoffs. He showed Texas, #1 defense in the country. Breaks off, screen pass, fake block. We out racing. Right here, Texas did a great job at stopping that play. Let's go.
What a
touchdown,
screen.
end zone. Let's get some money. Right here, second round. I like this guy going to the Lions. I feel like not to the Lions.
Three-headed.
Excuse me, not to the Lions. Excuse me. to the
Sonic,
Browns.
Knuckles, and
I like
Travion.
the Browns or the
I
Titans
like that,
picking him
though.
up. I like that.
Yeah, I'm a
Three-headed
big
monster.
fan of him. I mean, Ohio State, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins were basically a two-headed monster. They both ran for 1,000 yards last season. Teams in the second round most likely are going to be very lucky to draft either one of them.
Yeah.
Rohan, though, you got to talk about the top guy,
We have to, man.
Ashton Jeanty.
He's the guy who's going to go in the first round, averaging 13.4 yards a carry. He had 267 yards in a game. That's absolutely crazy to think. Right here, what's the Cowboys issue? Red zone. That's why I want to go to the Cowboys so much. Everything is blocked. Sees that the block is up front right, goes to the right side, red zone touchdown. Easily done. I like players who make the simple moves. Let's go to the next play right here. You think he could just run? No, he can catch too. Look at this hurdle. You ready? Look at the hurdle.
Hey.
Look at that right there. Look at the hurdle. That reminds me of 2016 Ezekiel Elliott. That's why I like him so much.
I like that.
By far his best run of the year. You ready for this yards after contact? Look how many guys get him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not 5, but 6 guys get him. He's ahead. Nothing but real estate ahead of him. Now, whenever you talk about Jeanty, his yards after contact is absolutely insane. 1,970 yards after contact. That is the best in the
contact.
After
That is
contact, is the
amazing.
best in the college
Insane.
game. That's why I like him so much, and that's why he reminds me of 2016 Ezekiel Elliott, like I said. So look at this. Contact up front. Now this guy, I hate to say it, in a couple of years he will burn out. We have to admit it because of his workload. But this guy's a for sure top 5 pick in my opinion. If the Raiders don't get him, Cowboys, please hop on him. Just for me, please.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way he makes it to 12, unfortunately, but Jeanty's an incredible player. The size may be a little bit of a concern. He's shorter than me. So that scares me just a little bit. But what he's done in college, it's incredible. I think he's going to be an elite player, at least for quite a few years.
Have that short height, though.
Yeah, dude, he's so strong.
Right.
He's so incredible. Yeah. It's going to be exciting to watch. But we talked receivers, we talked running back. Let's get over to the quarterbacks, and your Texas Longhorns, London. Take us away.
Yes, sir. I'm going to speak on Quinn Ewers. I had the chance of playing against his team in high school. The #1 overall pick, #1 draft prospect in my opinion. You see right here in a game versus Arizona, a game that they kind of struggled a little bit, put the ball on the money, playing in a pro-style offense with Coach Sarkisian. Down here against Michigan, this by far was probably his best game. Quinn Ewers had 3,400 yards this year. People may question, his draft stock dropped, but this guy right here can play at the next level. Against another SEC team, what'd he do? Drop it in the bucket, end zone. Hey, that's to your guy as well that you picked.
Right there.
Come on, now let's draft this guy. Vandy, right here, drop it in the bucket yet again. Why not draft this guy? He's a guy, also, he reminds me of like a Russell Wilson with that improvisation and a little bit of Patrick Mahomes with the side arms.
Wow, oh man.
He's right here in a packed game, sold out game. Texas A&M, drop it in the bucket over 2 guys right there. Why would you not want a pro-ready quarterback on your team? People make questions, inconsistency, 3,400 yards in the SEC. Still, college football semifinals, 2 years in a row. Dropping the ball in the bucket on the sideline right there against Clemson right here. People make question, what about his deep ball accuracy? Let's go. On the money, 2 people yet again. This is in every play to your guy again, right there. Put him with some great receivers. I really like this guy going to the Lions. Let him sit under Jared Goff under a year. He'll be a franchise player.
All right, Quinn Ewers, a guy also went to my rival high school, so we had the honor of being beat by him a couple times. I mean, he's an incredible prospect, obviously, but there's been some concerns. Obviously, he's fallen a little bit, didn't have the best finish to that season. I think despite everything, there were just some ups and downs. So I think he could be some real good value, though, on day 3 for a team looking for a quarterback. Lions, I think, would be a great fit. Rohan, though, we got to talk about the ultimate wild card quarterback of this draft, right? Take us away, the man himself.
Shedeur Sanders. He threw for 438 in one game, had 5 touchdowns against Oklahoma. Are you kidding me? He's not just his Deion Sanders' son, okay? He can do a lot. What's the number 1 weakness of his? The deep ball. Look at that ball right there. Potentially in the triple coverage. I'll say double just to make more out of it. But potentially triple coverage, a deep thrown ball. 3rd and 15. Look at the left side of the field. Travis Hunter's on the outside. He's got to get there within 4 seconds. But what makes Shedeur so great? His 10-step drop back. Normal quarterbacks take 6 to 8. He has so much time right now that he can take 10 steps and find a wide open Travis Hunter. And because of that, they can convert on 3rd and 15. You ready for the big play? Y'all are ready for the big play. His best play of his career, in my opinion. Are y'all ready for this? 31-24, 2 seconds left, 3rd and 10. Hail Mary time for Shedeur. You ready for the pressure? Let's see it. 1, 2, potentially 3 guys coming at him. 1, foot leg on the rise, and then a Hail Mary touchdown. That's what I'm talking about. So to tie the game, potential tie game. But with Shedeur, his weakness, with his weakness, it was the deep ball, but thank you so much. With his deep ball, that was his weakness, and he's able to overcome that with these 2 plays right there, converting 3rd and 15 and 3rd and 10.
Yeah, fortunately, Travis Hunter didn't drop that ball, so I don't know what's going on, Rohan. London, how do you feel about Shedeur, and how do you think he fits with a team later in the first round of this draft?
Despite the media and the critics, Shedeur is a top 3 quarterback in this draft by far. Let's look strictly at football. This guy had a O-line that struggled. Both of his years at Colorado that struggled. And he still put up great numbers, winning some of the most prestigious quarterback awards in college football. You put this guy behind the line, he could lead you to a Super Bowl. Hey, Deion Sanders' son. No, this guy can play football right here.
All right. Yep, guys, we're going to have to see once this draft gets underway. But thank you guys so much. Incredible breakdown there. We're going to take a break and talk about some defensive film coming up next.
Hey Alex, this guy on the internet says he wants to give me money.
That sounds suspicious.
What do you mean?
Typically, strangers who promise you money on the internet have their own best interest in mind. They often use bounced checks, which will disappear shortly after depositing, but not before they've asked for some money in return.
So he doesn't really want to spoil me?
No.
Well, then what should I do?
The best way to handle it is to block and report the suspicious message, or even consult local law enforcement if you've already fallen victim.
So I guess we aren't going to Key West for spring break.
No.
There's no harm in wanting to have fun while in college, but it's easy to lose track of how much you've had. Apps like Drink Control and Alkadroid can help keep track of your consumption and blood alcohol levels. If you or someone else does drink too much, the signs of alcohol poisoning are as follows: pale skin, vomiting, confusion, low body temperatures, irregular breathing, blacking out, and is hard to wake up or cannot be woken up.
Dude, are you okay? Hey, what's wrong? Wake up!
It's an exciting time of year, but it's important to be responsible. If you suspect someone is suffering from alcohol poisoning, get help immediately. You will not get in trouble for seeking help if you are underage. For more info and resources, go to UNT's Division of Student Affairs.
Craving something fresh, flavorful, and made just for you? Look no further than Avesta, your go-to destination for a delicious, full-service dining experience. Dive into our customizable omelets, expertly crafted by our talented cook Jonathan, who guarantees every bite is perfection. All our dishes are handmade, prepared with only the freshest ingredients. Explore our assembly line where you can choose from any of our globally inspired dishes or customize your plate. It's that easy. And let's not forget dessert. Indulge your sweet tooth with treats from Clark Bakery. With convenient payment methods including card or flex, it's the perfect dining spot for any occasion. Quench your thirst with our wide selection of drinks. Just hand your drinking card to our friendly waiter, and they'll bring your beverage of choice right to your table. When you're done savoring every last bite, our attentive staff will whisk away your tray. Enjoy the peaceful ambiance as you dine in, or use our takeout option for a meal on the go. Avesta.
Welcome back to the Sports Zone Draft Special. Once again, I'm your host, Steven Lucero, and I'm joined by Ian and Ian Sparkman and Ian Cropper, and we're going to break down some defensive film. We just got done with the offense, but hey, we got to get some defensive love in here, right? Defense was sort of weird, in the last draft. This one, we got some dominant defensive players. So Ian, start us off with your guy, one of the top cornerbacks in this draft.
Yes, sir. So we're going to start by talking about Will Johnson, 2023 All-American. He's played in some NFL caliber defenses at Michigan under Mike McDonald, as well as Jesse Minter. And here, first clip, this is against an NFL wide receiver right here in Marvin Harrison Jr. You're going to watch him. We're going to get another angle here. He's just going to sit there. He's going to read the hips of Harrison, and he's going to react to what he's seeing, make a play on the ball. And these type of ball skills, they're very crucial at the NFL level to be able to make those turnovers, win the turnover battle. And it's something that Will Johnson absolutely excels at. It is his best trait, in my opinion. You're going to see another clip of it here this year against USC. He's just going to read the eyes of Miller Moss, make that explosive first step, make a play on the football, turn it into points for the Wolverines. This is just big-time stuff. This is winning football right here, creating offense with your defense. Again, just watch him break on that route, take it in the other direction. What an undercut. Absolutely. But listen, this explosiveness, it also translates to the run game, all right? It's not all about what he can do against the pass. In the NFL, you need to be able to tackle, and Will Johnson can tackle as good as any corner I've ever seen coming out of college. See him just explode on the ball carrier and make a play. And then how about this? Lay in the wood on this poor kid from Arkansas State. Oh, just laying it down.
Hit stick right there.
He hits like he's as big as he is. He's a 6'2", 200-pound corner. He tackles like that. Will Johnson, he's got all the traits to be a successful NFL corner, and I think we're going to see him go pretty high in this year's draft.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some concerns about Will Johnson sort of maybe falling in this draft. Kind of didn't have the best season last year as he did, say, a sophomore in Michigan. However, he has all the traits. He's so long, so lengthy, one of the best cornerbacks, I believe, in this draft. And I think despite everything, despite all the smoke, all the falling, I think he goes a little earlier than people are expecting.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go from corner to the edge, though. Ian, take us away.
All right, well, this isn't the best class for linebackers, but we do have two prospects at the top, the first of which is Georgia's Jalen Walker. But despite being a first-team All-American linebacker, I actually think he's better at edge. Like, we'll see here in this play against the eventual Natty runner-up, Notre Dame, he's able to get a quick sack, or not a sack, but a pressure that makes him throw out of bounds. Ask any Dolphins fan when they go against the Bills, they do not want to be in this situation. Notice how the entire line is coming down this side. It's just Jalen Walker on this side, but he's still able to use his size and athleticism to get the pressure and force that throw. Against the run, he's also good, and notice how he sees the handoff here and knows what he has to do on the edge, so he's able to get around and get a tackle. I think that's maybe half a yard at most. Very effective against the run. Then we move on to against the pass, and I do think this is Walker's worst area, but he does still have his strengths. As we see here, the entire wall of the Georgia defensive line is coming down. Walker in the corner realizes what's about to happen and gets a great tackle for a loss. And like I said, this is probably his worst area, especially in zone coverage. We didn't see him get a single forced incompletion in his entire college career, but in man, he's still exceptional. He does have potential to improve, as this excellent play demonstrates. He's a great tweener who can alternate between linebacker and edge, and I have him going at number 8 to the Panthers. They run 3-4. That's the formation he's best in, and I think he will be excellent in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. We called Abdul Carter, Michael Parsons 2.0. Jalen Walker, I don't know. He might be 3.0. I really think that he has that linebacker edge capability. I think he's best at the edge, though. I think when he's rushing the passer, man, he's dynamic. So we're going to keep it going. Ian, take us into your next defender.
Yeah, so we're going right back to the defensive backs. For me, this is the most underrated defensive player in the draft. I think he can impact the game in a lot of ways. We're talking about Malachi Starks out of Georgia. He's a guy who can do everything that you need out of a modern safety. And I'm just going to let this first play speak for itself. Watch him high point that football. He made a play on that like he was a wide receiver, 100%. But let's watch it back and analyze it a little more. This is him in the nickel. Again, he's a safety, and he's playing in a nickel spot right here. You're just going to watch him read the route, get in the hip pocket, look for the football, make a play. You don't even see college corners being able to turn the shoulder and make a play on the ball as well as he did on that play. Malachi Starks has some insane traits, and he's great against the run too, which is a more traditional safety role. I want you to watch him throughout this entire play right there. Just watch. There's a lot of trickery going on in the backfield here, and he just watches the entire play, analyzes it. As soon as he sees where the ball's going, he makes the play. All right? Same idea here against Texas. You're just going to watch him. He's just going to blow up this block that Gunnar Helm's trying to throw, and he's just going to single-handedly wreck this bubble screen. All right, and that's a bad man, a Wingo over there at Texas. If he breaks free, he's going for 6 most likely. So you can see the type of difference that he can make in the run game with those traits. And one more time here, a little bit more of a zone look out of the nickel, but it's just, again, the explosiveness, his ability to read the route, make a play on the ball, and break up the pass. Malachi Starks, he has every single element that they're looking for in modern safeties. You think about like the Brian Branches of the world, who he pretty much single-handedly transformed that Lions defense last year. And you also look at like a guy like Kyle Hamilton with the Ravens. That's the type of safety that you have in Malachi Starks. He's probably going to fall in this draft lower than he should, but he's one of the top overall talents in the draft.
Yeah, I agree completely. Malachi Starks at the safety position. Safeties are always disrespected in the NFL draft. I don't understand why, but he's, like you said, so much more than a safety. His ball skills are incredible. His ability to play in the box, up deep. I mean, he can do just about everything. Malachi Starks, such a great player. I had him falling just into the beginning of the second round. If a team gets him in the second, man, they're pretty lucky.
Fantastic value.
Yeah, incredible. 100%. So, Ian, we're going to move back over to the linebacker side of things and talk about another guy I'm a huge fan of.
That's right. So the other big linebacker prospect in this draft is Jihad Campbell. And whereas Jalen Walker was more of an edge, Campbell is the perfect all-around linebacker. 5 stars recruit out of high school, played very well for the Crimson Tide, and just great all around. We'll see here his pass defense abilities, which are much better than Walker's in my opinion. Here he gets a great interception against Carson Beck and gets the Crimson Tide into great field position against the Bulldogs. Sorry. And once we see the play itself, we're going to zoom in a bit. He's all the way back here in zone, but he's able to recognize what Carson Beck is about to do. He's able to get in front of the receiver, move very quickly with his size and athleticism, and get that interception. Now moving on to his run defense, which we'll see in a bit. This is another area where he is very good, and I love the play that we're about to see in particular because you see the handoff, you get the tackle. It's very quick, so it's hard to see, but once you look at the full story, it is just immaculate. Like, one you're going to notice, there's a very small gap here. There's almost nothing, but he sees the handoff. He sees that he has a very narrow window of opportunity, and he just comes through with all that size and power and just pile drives him along with the entire rest of the defense. The pass rushing is where he's a bit worse than Walker, but he's still excellent, especially on this play against LSU. As you can see, he forces a fumble.
Strip sack.
Devastating play if you're LSU or a Tigers fan. And like the last play, he does have a gap. It's a lot bigger this time, but he is still able to just rush through it using his power to take down the LSU quarterback. And he will be excellent value, great all-around defender. I currently have him going to the Bengals at number 17. I think they need someone who's an all-around defender like him, especially given how bad their defense was last year, but I could see him going a lot of places in the teens.
Yeah, Jihad Campbell is one of my favorite players in this entire draft. He's, I think one of the top linebackers, obviously, but he can just be so much more than that as well. He can rush the passer. He had multiple sacks last year. I think it was at least 4.5, maybe 5. He was incredible. This is a guy that's just going to be dynamic anywhere you put him. I think he's going to go a lot lower in this draft than he should, but man, he really deserves to go high. Ian, tell us about one more linebacker that might be a little underrated in this class.
Yeah, so Jihad Campbell is a guy I would describe as a really toolsy linebacker, and I think a lot of teams are going to love that about him. I could see him going as high as like 11 to the Niners. But a guy that I love in this draft, he's more of a gem. It's Danny Stutzman out of Oklahoma. He's a guy who was a All-American, consensus All-American last year in the SEC, so he wasn't just Big 12 stat farming on the defensive side of the football. All right, he is a fantastic overall linebacker, and the number one thing you need to know about him is that he creates chaos at the line of scrimmage, just like you saw in that play. Just blows up the pulling guard, gets in the backfield, makes the play. Same game here, this time at the goal line, and you're going to notice this a lot on his film. It's littered all over the place. He is always the first player to the ball carrier, just leading the troops, leading the defense, making that first contact, and just doing everything he can to bring out the ball carrier. But he's not just a run-stop only linebacker. He can play some good pass coverage. It's maybe not his strength, but I want to watch him here in the Alamo Bowl against what was a really good Arizona team that year. You're going to watch him. You can take another look at this angle here. He's just going to get a good feel for the zone, float back with the tight end, and just eyes on the quarterback the whole time, make a play on the football. All right, that's good fundamental pass coverage right there, and I think Danny Stutzman really is a complete linebacker. And boom, all right, that's an NFL linebacker making a hit on a college running back right there. He can lay the wood, absolutely. And yeah, I mean,
truly,
at the end of the day, Danny Stutzman is a complete linebacker, and I think he's going to succeed at the NFL level. You can see how he just navigates through traffic there against Texas. Again, Danny Stutzman, he's going to fall into like the 3rd or 4th round, but I think he's a complete NFL linebacker, and whoever picks him in those rounds, I think they're going to get a steal.
Yep, absolutely. Another potential steal of this draft. I mean, whether it's day 2 or 3, I think this is going to be a really, really good player to watch. Ian, take us to your last player, another pass rusher here.
Yeah, and this one is actually from Marshall. That's a school that hasn't produced a first-rounder since Byron Leftwich and Randy Moss. But Mike Green is absolutely worthy of being the first-rounder in this league. You're going to see a lot of sacks in these highlights, and he was the national leader with 18 sacks on the year. Just look at this play against Stony Brook. Absolutely beautiful dropping of the quarterback. And something you're going to notice in a lot of these plays, he doesn't win off these tackles at sides. Like, notice the tackles he goes against are usually a lot bigger than him. And he doesn't have the power, but what he does have is athleticism, speed, and just a raw determination and motor.
Look at that swim move.
Fighting his way through these plays. Against Ohio State, he spins around and is able to get the quarterback. These are the eventual national champions we're talking about. And you see this a lot in game after game. Whether it's the running back, the quarterback, whoever has the ball, he will demolish them with his motor. And something you might be concerned about, he's a G5 athlete. He's in the Sun Belt Conference. He doesn't have that strength of schedule. Well, first of all, I know the film speaks for itself. Like, look at some of these plays. He is just unstoppable. But I also want to highlight, at the Senior Bowl, that guy he just pancaked right there, that's Josh Connerly Jr., a projected first-round tackle in this draft. So he absolutely has the potential to function well at the next level, and I think he will be a premier edge rusher for whoever takes it. Things are very volatile with him, both because of his G5 status and because of character concerns. But I think his absolute floor is the Baltimore Ravens at number 27. Me personally, I have him going to the Falcons at number 15, who could desperately use an edge rusher of his caliber.
Yeah, I think he's such a gem. I mean, what we saw him do in the Senior Bowl against one of Oregon's best, I mean, right there. I mean, he's so good, and it's going to be exciting once again how these prospects turn out. Thanks for breaking down some film with me, guys. We're going to move on now and talk about some local prospects from around the DFW area.
Are you tired of seeing the same old city? You want to learn something and go overseas? Then study abroad with one of many UNT Study Abroad programs. You can find a Study Abroad office right here at Markey Hall, room 145.
My study abroad program left on me a great impression. We have a lot of different programs and it varies. We have faculty-led, affiliate, and exchange programs. When you're ready to leave for your study abroad program from UNT, you're going to go through pre-departure orientation and modules so that you are prepared.
The power to turn the world into your classroom is right here at UNT with our study abroad programs. Take flight and take in charge of your education.
Hey UNT students, looking for creativity and inspiration? The UNT Union Gallery invites you to experience artwork at the art exhibit from your own talented Eagle artists. This free exhibit features a rotating selection of incredible artwork from talented Mean Green artists. Don't miss your chance to experience creativity up close. Stop by anytime during union hours. Want to hear more from the artist yourself? Join us at the Ask and Eat reception, where you can dive deeper into the creative process and enjoy a good conversation over a bite to eat. Don't miss the latest exhibit at the UNT Union. Immerse yourself in the art, and be sure to explore the many other exciting exhibits rotating in throughout the semester.
I use Flex to buy my favorite snacks.
I use Flex to get me through my mornings.
I use Flex at my favorite campus restaurants. I love how Flex is a cashless payment method and can be used at all campus dining venues.
So, how do you use Flex?
Welcome back to Sports Zone. I'm joined by Adam C. and Oscar Chavez, and we're going to talk about some of the best local players in this draft. But before we get into it ourselves, we have a live shot reporter live at the Star in Frisco, Val Rojas. We're going to get to her in just a moment. And it's going to, all right, well, we have just one more minute before we get to her, So, all right, so Val, tell me, who are some of the top players that you can see the Cowboys drafting today?
Thank you, guys. Yes, I'm at the Star right now, and responding to your question, I think that there's a lot of buzz going around with Ashton Jeanty being the 12th pick for the Dallas Cowboys. With his amazing career this season and Heisman Trophy runner-up, he had 29 touchdowns and 2,600 total yards. He would be an amazing runner back for the Dallas Cowboys. However, I don't think he's going to make it to the 12th pick. So the Dallas Cowboys are going to have to take a really good look at Matthew Goldman, because as a wide receiver, he could help boost off the offensive line, and he had an amazing career with 1,000 total yards and 9 touchdowns. A runner back and a wide receiver would be great options for the Cowboys, but we'll just have to see which ones make it to the 12th pick.
Yep, thanks so much, Val.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, thanks so much. That was
then, on the other
incredible
side,
report
if
there.
Goldman is not available, we also have many other prospects right now, but Todorola Macmillan is a great prospect from the University of Arizona with his height at 6'5" and totaling in the past 3 seasons 28 yards and more than 3,000 total yards. 28 touchdowns. He's an amazing opportunity that the Dallas Cowboys should really take a good look at them. Thank you, guys. That's all I have for you guys. Now back to you at the studio.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Val. Those are going to be some incredible players to look at. Obviously, Ted McMillan and Matthew Golden, the receivers, kind of the favorites. Ashton Jeanty played in that building behind you, the Star in Frisco, when he went to Frisco Lone Star. So definitely some great local prospects. Adam, I'm going to start with you. How are you feeling about some of these players and their opportunity to maybe end up right here in Dallas?
I will say, I got to watch Ashton Jeanty live from the Star my senior year for the district title. And if you had told me that this kid was going to be a potential top 10 pick, I would have called you crazy. But watching him at Boise State, this guy is just pure power. There's no other way to put it. Like, he's a workhorse. He might be short, and I know that that's a big thing people talk about. They're worried about his height. They're worried about his potential durability at the NFL level. I would look at you and say that this kid is an absolute workhorse, and he's just hard to bring down. Ask any defensive player, especially guys from San Diego State, because he destroyed them. It takes more than one guy to bring Jeanty down. And I think at the NFL level, you're just going to have to see how he works with actual bigger guys that can tackle, that aren't from the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeanty's an incredible prospect, but like Val said, probably not going to fall to 12. However, these receivers, they might. Oscar, how are you feeling about Golden or McMillan?
So Golden or McMillan, I'm really high on McMillan. I think people are really over-evaluating him in terms of a prospect. Yeah, he's the biggest receiver in the draft. He runs a 4.4, but it's just too many concerns with, oh, did he go up against the top guy? How did he do against the top guy? I think we're overlooking him, but Golden, I think he's our guy at number 12. I just see Carolina taking that chance on McMillan at 9, so I got Golden at 12 for the Cowboys, and to be honest, I have him compared to Antonio Brown. Pre-CTE Antonio Brown, that is. I mean, if he has the separation at the top of the route, he is crisp. His release at the line is like no other. And the size, he's about 2 inches taller than Antonio at 6 foot. But his ability to high point the ball at that height, wherever it is, I mean, that guy's special. He's the fastest receiver in the draft. That's something the Cowboys desperately need. I mean, hey, if he's there, why not?
And that was something that Antonio Brown was actually really good at, was the fact that he could go onto the sideline and they could toss the ball straight to him and he could somehow get both toes down while high pointing it. The guy that I want to compare him to, though, I want to go with Chris Olave. Chris Olave is very speedy, plays very similar to Matthew Golden, gets that separation up top, beats guys on vertical routes all the time. And in my opinion, as long as Golden doesn't have the Olave concussion history, he could be a huge thing in this NFL, and I really hope he drops to Dallas.
Yeah, so both our comps have something we don't want Golden taking.
Exactly.
Yeah, truly, those are two incredible receivers, and I'm really going to be excited. I think one of these could end up in Dallas, but we got to talk about the defense as well. And once again, at the Star in Frisco, we have our live shot reporter, Jordan Lindsay. Jordan, it's going to tell us about some of the top defensive prospects in this draft. Jordan, tell us about some of the best defenders from DFW.
But some of those players are looking to hear from their hometown team, the Dallas Cowboys. In this draft, there are 3 defensive players coming out from Dallas. With the main focus on defense, we have Shamara Turner out of the DFW from DeSoto, Texas, and also another DeSoto native. We have Jabbar Muhammad, a safety out of Oregon. With the final Dallas native will be R.J. Mickens, a safety out of Clemson. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited to see who will be called to wear the silver and blue this upcoming season. That's all I have for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks so much, Jordan. Great report there. And once again, we have lots of great defenders from the DFW area as well. Oscar, start us off. Which of those defensive prospects are you most excited about?
So the most one I'm really excited about is Jahdae Barron. I mean, from Texas, his versatility is just unmatched in this draft class in terms of first-round talent at that DB position. You can line him at nickel. You can line him sometimes at strong linebacker to rush, and you can also line him up at corner to take away maybe that third guy, maybe that second guy. Not the first cornerback off the board, but he is definitely one to look out for in terms of versatility. And hey, if the Vikings do pick him up, I feel like they can use him so good to his abilities.
I would also say, speaking of DBs, I want to talk about Billy Bowman Jr. The kid from OU, I went to high school with him, and I can tell you that this kid is a great run defender. I wouldn't necessarily put him in coverage due to his 5'8" stature. I fear that he is going to get big-bodied when it comes to playing NFL talent. But the way that I see Bowman, he is a lot like Deron Bland, and if I had to make a player comp. He's very good at run defense. His only struggle that I would say he needs to fix before going to the NFL is tackling, because he's not exactly a great tackler. He even said that he hates tackling, which is a bit weird for a defensive player. But if he fixes that, I could really see him being a part of a really good run defense down the line.
Yeah, Bowman's going to be a very interesting prospect. I agree, just sort of in that range, and it's just going to be interesting if he can kind of put everything together in his game. Oscar, how are you feeling about him as a prospect?
I mean, like you're saying, the lack of size is of concern, but with that, you really strategize for your players when you pick them up. You don't put them in a system unless you're a bad GM, which there's some of those, but you put Bolden in a good system where he's going to flourish in terms of, hey, maybe he doesn't have the best coverage abilities, but hey, he can run support like no other. So if he's one of those DBs that is going to get in there and try to make a tackle when we're saying he's a little bit ish, he just try to get in there and make a play, I think he'll be all right.
Oh, and another thing about Billy I'd like to touch on is his athleticism, because the kid is scary fast. He's scary agile, and he is going to keep up with a lot of people. I could see him as a guy. I could see him playing nickel blitz throughout a lot of his career. Like, he could come in from the side and just deck a quarterback. And I think that's where his real potential lies, is in his athleticism.
Yeah, definitely not like a day one pick, but going day 2, day 3, someone picks him up, someone puts him in the right scheme, he's going to get someone special.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well. And I want to talk just a little bit more before we move on about Jamar Stewart. This is a player that has all the intangibles necessary, but it's just, can he get the production at the NFL level? Adam, how are you feeling about Stewart?
The thing about Stewart, he has it all. Like you said, he has the athletic ability. He has the strength. I mean, the guy is an absolute unit as a football player. But again, it's the production. And one of the reasons for that is because he has a wide frame. A lot of offensive linemen get under him, and they trap him, so they make him ineffective. He's going to have to work on that. He's going to have to work on how to get around linemen. He's going to have to use a lot of that agility.
Well, he took a page out of my notes because that was exactly what I was going to say. Wide frame, as soon as your pad level is above that center, above that guard, it's game over. They have you in wraps, they have you in handcuffs, they have you in jail because you're not able to do anything because you're way too big. Yes, if you keep chopping, that's what they preach at practice, right? You're going to be able to do something, but it's his technique that's flawed. And someone is going to take up a project, I assume, in that pick because I don't have him going too high, but I have him going like mid-first round. So they pick him up somewhere around there. They'll have a project to work on, but if they do well on that project, they're going to get someone truly special at that.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. Stewart is a great prospect. It's just a matter, can he put it all together? He hasn't quite had the production you want to see, but he has every tool possible. But we're going to move on and talk about some of our hot takes going into the 2025 NFL Draft.
Has this ever happened to you?
My bike! My bike is gone!
Stolen bikes are an epidemic sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
Looking to open a free checking or savings account but don't know where to start? Check out DatQ Credit Union right here on campus. Get your Mean Green debit card instantly or apply for a DatQ Visa credit card today. Your school, your card. Plus, make deposits at their 24/7 ATM, checks or cash whenever you need it. Make sure to sign up for DatQ's online banking platform and mobile app for easy access anytime, anywhere. Visit them at www.datq.org to learn more. DatQ, the official financial institution of UNT Athletics.
There's no harm in wanting to have fun while in college, but it's easy to lose track of how much you've had. Apps like Drink Control and Alkadroit can help keep track of your consumption and blood alcohol levels. If you or someone else does drink too much, the signs of alcohol poisoning are as follows: pale skin, vomiting, confusion, low body temperatures, irregular breathing, blacking out, and it's hard to wake up or cannot be woken up.
Dude, are you okay? Hey, what's wrong? Wake up!
It's an exciting time of year, but it's important to be responsible. If you suspect someone is suffering from alcohol poisoning, get help immediately. You will not get in trouble for seeking help if you are underage. For more info and resources, go to UNT's Division of Student Affairs.
Are you looking for a fun club with travel opportunities? Dive into the UNT Swim Club. Practicing Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Pole Recreation Center. We accept members at any skill level. For more information, reach out to us at unt.swimclub on Instagram.
Welcome back to Sports Zone. I am joined by our whole panel of analysts here, Q Cherry, John Phillips, and Nick Volpetti. And to finish this off, we're going to talk some hot takes. We're going to say all the crazy things we think might happen in this draft, how players might turn out, where they might go. Let's just get right into it. Q, give me your first hot take.
All right, let me walk to my special little board over here, all nice and nonchalant. I'll do my draft hot take first. My draft hot take is Cam Ward falls apart, big bust in the NFL. In Miami, he had a great O-line, so great that he could stand in the pocket, play Angry Birds all day he wanted to. But that's not going to translate well by any capacity to the NFL. He's going to get sacked. He's going to look like Shadur every year of college, and just spend most of his time in the dirt rather than throwing the ball.
Dang, okay, so Cam Ward a bust just like that. Guys, how are you feeling?
I mean, Miami definitely has a strong offensive line, but you brought up Shadur. He's someone I'm concerned with the sacks about. Cam Ward, not really. I think he has a good arm. I think he's a talented guy. To say he's going to completely fall apart, I could see him being a mediocre quarterback, but a complete bust, I don't really buy that.
Hold on, wait. A few months ago, Cam Ward said he plays with bad balls because you got to get into the game environment to be better in games with bad conditions. That's Shadur. That's Shadur. Conditions the entire time at Colorado. Can't say the same thing for Cam Ward. He's played with great line, great receivers, and great weapons.
I think what you brought up there shows that Cam Ward cares, and that's something that really matters for a quarterback's development, though. He practices with trash balls for bad weather games when he plays in Miami, the sunniest place in the whole country. I mean, I think that he absolutely is built for the NFL and is maybe even going to get better in the NFL than he was in college.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think Cam Ward, he's a very interesting prospect because, yeah, he's going to be the #1 pick in this draft. I think that's pretty much determined, set in stone, all good. But I think if we were looking like, say, Pack last year, year before, I mean, this is the 3rd, 4th quarterback taken.
QB4
I mean,
for me last
I
year.
question if he's
I agree.
maybe even slips to the 2nd round in some of these other drafts. I don't know, but it's a weak quarterback class. But Q, I got to get back to you. Are you saying Shador is the best quarterback in this class?
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Oh, no way, man.
You can hate it all you want, but Shadur has it. He's media trained. He's playing in the bad environment.
That's the word for it.
Under the bus,
yeah, I don't know about media trained.
Very media trained. He is the best QB in this draft. Mark my words. If he's trash, I'll go bald for you.
I can't wait to see it.
Can't wait to see it. I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's a take. But okay, I mean, all right, we'll take it. Q, get into take number 2.
My take number 2, this is an easy take. This is like, how do you even say this out loud? Everyone knows this. But the Bengals will fall apart this year.
What?
This shouldn't be even a question. They needed an MVP level performance out of Joe Burrow to go 9-8. Anything less than MVP, top 5 pick, hello. Hand delivery.
Dang. Yeah, I object. I mean, okay, so the Bengals, yeah, they're a team that, I mean, yeah, they were bad at the beginning of last season, but the way they worked to get better over and over, I mean, I know this looks like a disaster here, but I just think the Bengals are a team that they just need to bounce back. They have a lot of weapons, and if they can put it all together and Joe Burrow can continue to perform the way he does, I mean, to call them completely out of it, I don't know, that's crazy. How are you guys feeling?
I kind of can see why that you might think that.
Wow,
I mean,
okay.
Look at their defense last year.
That's
It was
the
an
concern.
absolute black hole. Offenses are able to do whatever they want against that Bengals defense. And I don't see how it's going to be a whole lot better this year. I mean, and like you said, I mean, Joe Burrow was at like his absolute best. Like, it would be hard to find a better version of Joe Burrow than we saw, and they went 9-8. Like, I can definitely see that happening.
Yeah,
so
and
I'm kind of with you.
With the defense, we've seen rumors that Trey Hendrickson could get moved. I mean, I think the Bengals might also agree with you.
They were bad with him. Like
the Bengals might be seeing that their window's kind of coming to an end right now, at least this current window. So I think, I don't know if they'll completely fall apart, but I could definitely see them being out of the playoffs this year.
Where's the camera at? We'll go for that one over there. Bengals fan, I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you this, but your franchise doesn't know how to run your team. I'd be fine with y'all bandwagoning this year. Y'all go with the Bills, heck, even the Ravens in your own division.
No, I'm not. No. They have Joe Burrow. I'm not fine with them bandwagoning completely. It's going to be some rough years, but they can last with Joe Burrow.
They're not the Panthers.
Yeah, they're okay.
There you go.
Rough years, not a rough season, rough years. That's not a reason to switch. I don't know what it is.
Well, as the graphic says, the Bengals might be cooked. I don't know.
Gotta get that Skyline chili.
Yeah, let's Skyline chili.
I still have some faith in them. I think they're going to really need to have a very good draft, though. It's going to matter a lot. John, I want to hear your takes next, though.
No one's ready for this. Those cool takes compared to mine. Here's the real hot takes coming up right here. My first take, I'm going to go with my quarterback take. The best quarterback in this class is not Shadur. It's not Cam Ward. Okay. Give me Jalen Milroe.
Oh my gosh!
Give me Jalen
Milroe.
What are we doing there?
I am obsessed with athletic quarterbacks. I am just obsessed with them. I was high on Anthony Richardson last year. Jalen Milroe, I'm falling into the same trap. Anthony Richardson hasn't been great, but Jalen Milroe is one of the most gifted runners of the football I have ever seen, and he was a little inaccurate this year, we can say.
Define a little. What's your margin of little?
Okay, a lot inaccurate this year, but the year before that, I think he was really good. I think he still has that talent, and I think if you get him into a system where he has a developing quarterback coach, I think he could be the best quarterback in the class easily.
Man, okay.
Who has his arm?
I mean, I wouldn't write off Jalen Milroe because I'm a sucker for speedy quarterbacks as well. I really think that that's important, and it's going to be, I think, kind of his saving grace to at least stay in the league.
Absolutely.
Best quarterback in the class.
I mean, like you said,
I don't know about the best in the class. I mean, his running ability, you can't deny it. He is one of the best runners of the ball as a quarterback we've ever seen. I mean, he kind of reminds me of Lamar Jackson a little bit, at least in that way.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to throwing the ball, I don't know about that. I mean, are we looking at a running back here or quarterback?
I think if you look at last year, I think you see a good quarterback throwing the ball. I think he was very accurate in that intermediate middle of the field, which is a very big indicator for NFL success. You have to be able to throw in the middle of the field. The athletic quarterbacks we've seen that have failed, Justin Fields, trash. Anthony Richardson, trash. They don't throw in the middle of the field. They aren't accurate in the middle of the field. Fields.
You're
Jalen
saying
Milroe
Justin
is.
Fields is trash?
Absolutely.
But you're picking Jalen Milroe?
Yes.
That's a fair point, man.
You
Justin-
were picking the poor man's Justin Fields.
Poor man. I would
Yes,
say the
Justin
rich
Fields, like
man.
2 seasons ago was like 3rd or 4th in rushing for all.
Yeah, Jalen Milroe will be 1st or 2nd in all of the league. That's how good of a runner he is. He runs a 4.4. He's huge. He's so, like, he is one of the best runners I've seen any position, not even just quarterbacks. He is one of the best runners of the football I've seen.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
wait,
he possesses that, but
You're talking about
any
running,
position.
all this running, but I'm not drafting a running back. I'm
Yeah,
drafting a
we're
QB.
talking about
It's
quarterbacks.
not a quarterback position.
I mean, if you look at the quarterback, who has as good a deep ball in this class as him? I mean, this is a weaker quarterback class, and I'm betting on the athlete with that deep ball. No one has the arm and the deep accuracy of him, you know?
All right, I mean, Jalen Milroe, we'll have to see. But, I mean, he's a great runner.
Absolutely.
He's a great prospect
Talented
in that regard.
at worst.
At
you know?
quarterback, though, we'll just have to see. Take us into take number 2.
My take number 2 is, you know, there's been a lot of hype for this year's running back class, and I get it. There are talented running backs, but I think this running back class is going to remind people why we devalued running backs. I don't understand why this year we're kind of ignoring positional value. We're kind of saying, like, oh, these running backs are good. Let's take them all in the 1st round. Let's take Omari and Hampton at 12. Let's take Travion Henderson at 20. I think that I think that Travion Henderson and Omari and Hampton going in the 1st round is just absolutely crazy. I mean, we are going to see their value go down this year because Omari and Hampton is in talks at 12 with the Cowboys. I've heard that earlier on in the broadcast. And I just don't get that. Omari and Hampton is not a 3rd down back. He doesn't contribute in the receiving game. He is not that wiggly or elusive. He's just a powerful back. And I don't see that being top 15 quality. I think he is going to be very disappointing compared to his draft stock. And then earlier in the mock draft segment, we saw Travion Henderson go 20th to the Broncos. For a 3rd down back, I just don't see this obsession with these running backs. It's a good class, but they're going to be drafted much, much too high.
Okay. Scoot over real quick
Yes.
so I can see these running backs. I see greatness. I don't know. I think I disagree with this one because I think that what Saquon Barkley, what Derrick Henry, what so many of these running backs did after this, Aaron Jones, another one, free agency, everyone was like, okay, we're out on running backs. Like, okay, they're all depreciating. I think that they saved the running back position this year because we saw how dynamic a great running back can be. It brought the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley did. And I don't know. I think that this is such a deep running back class compared to previous years. I mean, Gentry's incredible, obviously, the Heisman runner-up. I mean, what he did in college was insane. Omari and Hampton, 2 straight 1,500-plus yard seasons. Like I said, I see flashes of a young Ezekiel Elliott, Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, the 2-headed monster from Ohio State. If you're saying they don't matter, I don't know. Guys, how are you feeling?
I can move to the side. I see Philip Lindsay, Marshawn Lynch, and I don't know number 28's name. I'm sure he's
Amari and Hampton.
Amari and Hampton. But number 32, what's his name again?
Travion Henderson.
Travion Henderson. He reminds me of Philip Lindsay, mostly because of the ball control. Hasn't fumbled all year. Great on him. But
If we're talking Philip Lindsay in the 1st round, does that kind of prove my point? Taking
No.
Philip Lindsay value in the 1st round?
Philip Lindsay is a mid-running back.
I think one running back can't save the entire system. Like Ashton Genty, clear and cut the best running back. But
Absolutely.
that doesn't make every other running back Ashton Genty.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry doesn't make Austin Eckler great now.
Absolutely, man. I totally agree.
The running back position hasn't been saved at all. We just had a few flashes of light, a few stars in the night sky.
I'm with you.
That was tough.
That was tough. Let's go.
And with Ashton Genty, he's a great talent, like you guys have all said. But is he like the talent people are talking about? He had some fumble concerns. He didn't really contribute in the receiving game this year. He did last year, but with that high volume, maybe he won't be as effective as a receiver. And you have the volume. I mean, you have such high volume. I don't want to take someone top 5 who has 400 carries a year. That's just so much wear and tear on the body. I don't understand it.
All right, I'm sorry. He had 2,000-plus yards this season. Okay, all right.
Not enough for me.
Nick, let's hear your takes.
All right, it's my turn. Okay. First, we're going to talk about the draft. Actually, both my takes are kind of about the draft, but tonight, I'm going to say Shedeur Sanders, not a top 20 draft pick in this year's draft.
I believe it.
And I'm going to say some of it's his fault, some of it's not his fault. I'm going to start with the part that I don't think is his fault. I don't think there's a lot of landing spots for him. The one landing spot that I'm kind of looking for in the top 20 is the New Orleans Saints, but I've heard some rumors that they're actually going to be looking at Jackson Dart instead. I don't agree with Jackson Dart over him, but I mean, I guess they do, so it doesn't look like he's going to be going. to New Orleans, and if he's not going to New Orleans, after that, what other teams need a quarterback in that top 20? I'm not seeing a lot of teams that need a quarterback except for Tennessee. Obviously, they're going to be taking Cam Ward. So, I mean, when you look at like these teams like the Jaguars, they're not going to be taking a quarterback. The Raiders just got Geno Smith, and you go through like obviously San Francisco. Like there's so many teams. If you look at them in the top 20, I don't see them. And then, just aside from that, Shedeur Sanders, there's some concerns about Shedeur Sanders, I think. There were times last year with Colorado where he would say something and you'd be like, huh, what are you talking about? Like where I think it was the game against Nebraska, he was like, how many times did the other quarterback get hit? And he was just kind of making an excuse for himself. I mean, I'm not the type of person who usually likes to read in too much of that kind of a thing, but I mean, it's something you got to consider. He's a good quarterback, but I'm not sure if he's that top 20 quarterback that some are saying he is. What do you guys think?
I agree.
I mean, I agree talent-wise, he's not top 20. I think he's a game manager. I think he's a solid quarterback.
Game manager's a good word.
But we've seen him valued in the top 10 by executives throughout this mock draft season, and I think that while there aren't that many fits, I think that teams can trade up, and I think that we're going to see a team trade up for Shedeur if he falls past New Orleans. I think
that could happen.
There's just too much talent for someone to be like, oh, we're not taking him until those 25, 30? No.
I don't know.
Trade up could happen. If it does happen, I think it'll be with the trade up. I will say that.
Yeah, I could see him falling past 20. I got to say. But Q, let's hear it.
You know what?
Number one Shedeur Sanders supporter.
Words out, talk trash about the number one QB in this draft.
No,
I've been just like, laying low, laying quiet, but now it's my time to shine. But Shedeur is easily the best clean-cut quarterback in this draft. He's playing with a bad O-line. Bad conditions, pressure makes diamonds, and this is a diamond right here. Diamond in the rough. What would you say? There's not many landing spots. I'm fine with the Raiders picking Shedeur and sitting behind Geno
Smith.
That's so high, though. 6?
Man. I think the only diamonds here are on his wrist. Like, I'm sorry, man. Shedeur, like, I think
that was good.
I think he can be a solid quarterback in this league.
Less mobile Brock Purdy?
Less
mobile Brock Purdy is my call.
This is the next Tom Brady.
Oh my God!
No, we're moving on.
That is too much. We gotta move on. We gotta move on.
Next take, Nick. Take it away. Next one.
I gotta stop that right now. We're gonna move on to Ashton Jeanty. I think that he will be next season's Rookie of the Year.
All right. Hey, so the running back support's back.
I thought this was hot.
I don't know about the other running back, but we're gonna be talking about Ashton Jeanty. He was just absolutely electric in college. I think it's been a long time since we've seen a running back like Ashton Jeanty. I know some people might say like, oh, he was playing against Utah State and these trash MAC teams, or Mountain West teams, excuse me. But, I mean,
when you go back to that
against Oregon. I was going to say, you go back to that game against Oregon. I know it was early in the season, but he went off.
But then Penn State in the playoffs.
I'm going to talk about Penn State in the playoffs. I was getting there. Don't worry.
It.
I'm getting to Penn State. The thing about that is Penn State knew that if they stopped him in that game, they were going to win that football game. They did not have any other weapons that were going to be able to beat that Penn State team. At least in my opinion. I don't think Maddox Madsen, whatever the quarterback's name was. Yeah, no.
Respect the guy who beat out Malachi Nelson. I mean, come on.
I think in the NFL it's going to be more so a bit different than that Penn State game in the fact that even if he goes to a team like the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams isn't the best quarterback in the league, but he is a quarterback that can hurt you, and you can't just focus on the run game. Same with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence has had some struggles, but I mean, they got Brian Thomas Jr., who was one of the most electric receivers. So I think that Ashton Jeanty is going to be on a team where he won't be the only one that can beat you, and I think that's going to help him, and he's going to win Rookie of the Year.
Respectfully, you are wrong. And I know we don't have enough time for me to say like really deep dive into why you're wrong. So I'm just going to end off with the period as you're wrong.
I think the only thing I'd say is I think Fitt's a big part of Rookie of the Year, and if we see an Omarion Hampton go to the Cowboys at 12, he's going to be the only guy in that running game. While in Jacksonville or Oakland, there are some other pieces. So I think we could see an Omarion Hampton get that Rookie of the Year, even though he's not the most talented.
Is Travis Etienne hurt?
Yeah, he's just not that good. To be honest, not that
I don't
great.
think he's that good.
He's just whatever, you know.
Better than Jeanty.
What?
No hot takes for a later day.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Obviously, those are some great takes, and we don't quite have enough time to get into mine, but I'll just say real quick, Josh Simmons, I think, can be one of the best linemen in this entire class. Incredible player from Ohio State, and then Abdul Carter, Jalen Walker, and Jahad Campbell, 3 incredible number 11s that, hey, I think one of those 3, or maybe all of those 3, might be one of the next Micah Parsons. Got to say it. I think there's some great players. But I think that this was an incredible show. Thank you guys all. This was a great segment. We had some great film breakdowns, some great mock drafts, and I just want to thank everybody that made this show possible, not only today, but throughout the entire season of Sports Zone. We had a great year both on Monday and Thursday, along with Mean Green Mania on Saturday and Prove It or Lose It on Friday. The sports department really had a lot of great stuff going on as we flash all the credits down here at the bottom of the screen. Really, there's just so many people to thank. I want us to just kind of take us into the control room. Our technical directors, audio, replay, graphics. I mean, literally so many people. You see them there. You don't normally see them, but they make this show happen week in and week out. I want to thank all of them for making this show happen today. I want to thank the floor right here, camera 1, 2, 3, 4, and my incredible floor director for being with me all semester long. Look at them. Say hi, guys. Say hi. There we go. Yeah, thanks, Matthew. Stars. Great win last night.
Go Stars.
Yeah, go. But seriously, just thank you guys all for everything you do. And of course, I got to thank the analysts. You guys are incredible all season long. Really was such a great year of Sports Zone all the way through and through. So just want to give a great thank you to the cast and the crew of all our shows.
Let's thank the real MVP, the host, Steven Lucero here. Let's give him a little.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. But yeah, how are you guys? I mean, I just want to ask, what was your favorite memory from Sports Zone this semester?
I mean, too many to choose from, but I think the number one has to be the wrestling special from this Monday.
That was
just
special.
Chaotic
Go back and watch
energy.
that.
It's just special stuff you have to watch.
Adam's incredible hosting debut.
Absolutely.
There he is. All right, Q, how are you feeling? What was your favorite memory from this year?
Though it was, a little silly topic, I really appreciate the Super Bowl halftime shows. Oh, and yeah.
Our Jim almost fell, but we're all good.
Jim.
Well, Super Bowl halftime shows, I thought was the funniest special we've ever had. I'm sure Thursday y'all had little
the better show.
He haws here and there, but I wasn't there, so I couldn't really validate y'all's funniness.
Well, I appreciate you coming over here, Q. Nick, you're up here. Take us away. What was your favorite memory from this year's Sports Zone?
I got to say, I remember a block where I was talking with Omar Chavez about the Mavs, and he gave his message straight to Nico Harrison, straight into that camera.
Thank
looking
you, Oscar.
Into,
That was an
into
incredible.
his soul. That's got to be my best memory, and this draft show was awesome as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just being here, it was incredible. Just truly, just want to thank you guys again for letting me be your host. I really just had a lot of fun. There's Adam. There's the control room once again. Watch his show from Monday. That was absolutely incredible. But yeah, as we just continue to roll through the credits here, there's just so many people that make this happen day in and day out. And of course, you guys see the final product, but everything that goes into it in the hours before this, I mean, everyone that makes the graphics, the highlights, everything, it's incredible. So thank you guys for an amazing year of Sports Zone and of NTTV Sports. Thank you guys all again. And for everyone here, I'm your host, Steven Lucero, and we will see you all next semester with NTTV Sports.